Hey, Tony here, Rand Ventures 2.0. Where are we at and what are we doing? Well, where we're at, we're at Central Florida Beef. It's a local grass-fed beef market, and we're in downtown Brooksville, Florida, and I'm getting ready to go in here because what are we doing? We're gonna check this place out, all right? If you're ready, buckle up, carnivores. Here we go. Hey guys, this is Dave, the owner of Central Florida Beef. So welcome, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome me, I guess, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
I'm here. So what sets you apart from, well, you know what? How about give me a little bit of history, you being at this location?
Okay, so I was raised here in Brooksville. My parents were not cow people.
Okay.
They bought some land because they wanted their kids to be raised in the ag setting. They saw all the benefits that kids get from that, learning to work hard, take care of animals, stuff like that. So they bought some property. They bought cows when I was little. I don't remember when they got into cows.
Right,
I was
right.
still a baby. But so I just grew up taking care of animals. Loved that it taught me to work hard, to take care of things. And animals are just fun. They're good animals to learn a lot of life lessons for you, but you also get meat for your family out of it. So I was raised here, did that. I actually left and went into the Army and spent a career there.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. And as I was getting out, I wanted to raise good, clean beef for myself again. We did grass-fed beef my whole childhood. I knew about the health benefits,
Right.
Along with all the life lessons that it really helped me to learn, just working on a little bit of a beef ranch. So coming back, I've got a couple little kids now. I wanted them to be raised in that same type of environment.
Yes.
So I got back into kind of on a smaller scale, raising our own beef, which very quickly turned into beef for us and our family and our neighbor and the neighbor's friend and so on and so forth. And we grew our herd just to raise cows. Kind of the cow-calf operation was my initial plan going into it. But it very quickly took off to where the demand was something that we just kept trying to catch up with.
Yeah.
So when this location came available, I heard that the tenant was leaving. It's a nice central location, a lot of visibility. We kind of talked about it and we're like, well, if we're doing this, we have enough cows that we're just selling as calves, kind of on the cow-calf commercial basis. Maybe we start finishing more out and look into starting a retail spot. Because a lot of people that will buy bulk beef, they also they feel peace of mind if they can come try the product first.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people out there that will sell beef and then the product's not good. And you've just spent $5,000 on a whole cow that you don't really like.
Right.
So I saw it as an opportunity to make us a little bit more accessible, but also make it to where the people that don't have the space or the funds to buy a whole cow at a time could still have access to that good, local, clean, fresh beef. Our whole thing revolves around the health aspect though. So we don't use antibiotics or growth hormones or vaccines or spray our fields with chemicals, because all of that stuff that goes into that cow ends up in us when we're eating the meat in the end.
Right.
So that's kind of how we got here.
Okay.
As a
and this
as a
is
location.
an old gas station.
It's an old gas station.
Yeah.
It's been a bunch of things over the years, but originally was a gas station.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so, hearing all of that, so your cows, they're special to you, and it looks like that transfers over into your meat, with the wanting to do clean, wanting to do all of that, So why don't you tell me a little bit about what sets you apart from a, traditional butcher or a butcher store?
Yeah, so I would say over time, what would be considered the traditional model for beef has kind of changed. As things have grown, the big guys control a majority of the market. So most cow guys raise cows up to a certain age, because that's just what their family's done. Usually cow-calf guys will sell them at 3 or 4 weights or 300 to 400 pounds. And then big companies will end up having those cows in a feedlot, and they get finished out there. In a normal beef shop that you might walk into, I'd say the new traditional, they're ordering wholesale beef from one of those big, huge companies. Now, there's a big range of quality, but just a lot of unknowns for us. I want to know where my meat comes from and what's in it. Nothing against that other model. In a lot of ways, it has advantages of not running out of certain cuts, because they can just order it. While the meat we have in the case now, we started on 3 years ago when we were breeding that cow for the calf. that we then raised up for the meat. And until the cows decide to grow more ribeyes or fillets than, than they do, we're limited to what we have on the cow. But so I would say a new traditional, you're walking into a store, you might get some really good looking meat, you might get some great tasting meat, but you just have a lot of unknowns on where it came from, what it actually was fed. Even if it is a local farm beef, if it was finished in a feedlot, you have a lot of health benefits that you may lose when you put 1,000 cows into a small area, and you're gonna have to treat a bunch of them because they're gonna get sick from getting hauled across the country. They're gonna get sick because they're in confined spaces with a bunch of other cows. There's just a lot of maybe negative things for the actual cow's health that will happen. That in our model, we do two different things. We either do a grass-fed, grass-finished beef, that it's in the field till the day it goes to the butcher and it never has anything but grass. The battle you kind of face with that is you'll have a little bit of gaminess sometimes. The tenderness on grass-fed, grass-finished beef is not quite as consistent as something that's maybe gotten corn or some sort of grain at the end, because the protein levels aren't as high in most grasses. And we offset that a little bit with some really good hays and stuff that have also not been sprayed with herbicides, because that goes right into your meat as well. But that is one of our meats. The other one we do that kind of is more unique to us, I know other people do it, but it's not as common, is we call it our hybrid model. And that's where I take cows, they're in the field, right up till the day they go to the butcher still, but for those people that they like the traditional taste of beef, they like the high marbling, they want the consistency with the beef, that sometimes you have to give up a little bit having grass-fed, grass-finished. Our hybrid model, I will have the cows in, let's say, a 100-acre field. I'll have 30 or 40 cows there. They're roaming, grazing, happy and healthy as can be, right up till the day they go to the butcher. But what I'll do is maybe 90, 120 days out, I'll start adding in grain in the field to augment additional protein for them so that they can actually fatten up a little bit, get the marbling within the meat, get that consistency that a lot of times people want or don't want to give up or don't like in the grass-fed, grass-finished, true grass-fed, grass-finished. But you don't have all that negative health issues that come with cows being confined in close spaces, getting hauled all over the place, getting sick, having to get antibiotics. We don't use growth hormones, so it takes a little bit longer sometimes to finish our beef. But that's obviously a very controversial topic in itself on what growth hormones do affect on us as the end eater of that meat. There are people that will argue it doesn't affect you. There are people that argue it has dramatic effects. With us having a clean focus, to me, I'm not going to even chance it, regardless. And I would lean on the camp that it has to affect us. But for our model, they're in the field, they're healthy, they're happy, they're walking around. I don't have to worry about sick cows because they're just doing what cows were created to do. But I can get that consistent. If you look at the meat, we've got a nice marbling and consistency on our hybrid meat that looks just like what you would get at a nice prime steak or butcher shop somewhere else from feedlot beef. But I would argue we have a much better health benefit-wise product in the end for you, even though we can get that same taste and quality. So
you can tell a grass-fed, grass-finished versus a, getting it all grain. Because even though you've got the marbling maybe in the grain-fed, grain-finished, but the grass-fed, you've got that yellowing in the fat.
So, and I'll pull out some steaks here in a minute and show you the fat side by side. So you can see there's a little bit of a color difference. Now, if you give them the right haze or maybe you're in an area of the country that has a soil nutrient level that's a little bit higher, you might be able to get some of that yellow out and get a little bit of marbling in there. But at the end of the day, there is a difference. And you'll see it and you'll taste it. You'll definitely tell it in the texture. So that's kind of something you combat. And it's coming from somebody that was raised on grass-fed beef pretty much exclusively. I don't mind the flavor. I don't mind that a steak might be a little tougher here and there. but honestly, I prefer something that's going to fall apart and I can eat with a fork.
So your hybrid model, that sounds like
it's a real
that's
sweet spot.
Really nice that you've
Yes, sir.
developed over time.
Yes, sir.
That is really awesome, Dave. So why don't you show me around, show me the case, and let's take a look at some of this meat.
All right, so what we have, I will say one other difference, or one other maybe thing that people don't understand is there's a difference between fresh, never frozen beef and flash frozen beef.
Okay.
So fresh, never frozen beef, in people's minds, consumers, they think of, I'm out back, I've got a cow that I just butchered and I'm cutting you a fresh ribeye right off that cow. The problem is, if you actually think about that logistically, if that cow was butchered in Australia or Argentina or even Idaho, and I'm a shop here in Florida, logistically, if you take my meat and you stick it in your fridge for a week, I'm going to tell you to make sure it's still good.
Right.
Because it has nothing in it, no preservatives, nothing's been added to it. When you thaw it, you need to use it within a few days. So if I do a fresh, never frozen beef, I know that a lot of places, they do use chemicals to make it last long enough. Once again, we're trying not to have anything added to our meat that we don't want to eat.
Right.
So we have everything flash frozen, which is the second option we have.
Okay.
So when the butcher's done, we age the beef for 3 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks. Once they're done cutting it up, it goes in a 20 below freezer, which basically just hits pause on that meat breaking down. From the second that cow's butchered, that meat starts to break down. You can use that to your benefit for tenderness with aging, which is why we hang it for 3 to 4 weeks. But then after that, you want to hit pause on it because I don't want all the good, healthy nutrients in that beef to start deteriorating. So it is all frozen when we pick it up from the butcher. The first case we have here, this will change day by day. This is a Wednesday, so it's not as full as it would be on the weekend. But we usually try to have some burgers, a variety of steaks already thawed out. So if you come in and, hey, I want to go home and cook in an hour,
right,
we've got some ready to go options. Then this is a small sampling case of just a few of our cuts that are frozen. The majority is behind in our big freezers and cases back there. So we'll take meat and we'll thaw it out over here for the quick person that wants to go home and cook something. But the rest of the stuff, it's all going to come frozen. And that we do intentionally so that we don't have any added stuff to the meat that maybe affects the health of it. So let's walk over here behind the counter, and I want to show you just an example of our grass-fed, grass-finished, and these are just a couple ribeyes I pulled out, versus our hybrid model. And I hope the camera picks it up, but you're going to see these two. I got one that is a little more marbled. We were able to get some marbling in there, but it's not very marbled.
Right.
You'll see a little bit of a yellowish tinge to this fat. Same with this one. You'll see kind of a little bit of a yellow in there. There's not as much marbling within the meat. That is because this cow only had grass its entire life. Versus this, you'll see that we've got a nice white fat and a decent amount of marbling within the meat itself. And I did pick a little bit leaner ones. We have some that lean towards the prime. This stuff's probably like a high choice. But regardless, you see the fat has already turned kind of that white that traditionally you would see in the store.
Right.
That comes from what the cow's eating. The corns and stuff like that is what will give it that high protein level to be able to turn the fat, which gets rid of a lot of that gamey flavor that you might have in venison or any of the stuff out there that's just eating grass and wild things. The cows, they take after flavor profile wise a lot of what they eat. So this is our hybrid, an example of that. Our grass-fed is great. I love it. I will say that both of these ribeyes you would enjoy.
Right.
But it will not be as tender as this.
Got it.
Every time. There are times where I've had these and they're just as tender.
Right.
But then there's times where cows just weren't quite as tender with that.
Right.
While the hybrid, it's very consistently a product that you can expect the same every time.
Yeah, something
which
you
is,
can really
it's
control,
nice.
which is nice. Yeah.
So the people that want grass-fed, grass-finished, we have a professional marathon runner that is a carnivore. All he eats is meat. He eats about 1.5 pounds a meal. He goes through a quarter cow a month of our grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and he's about to run, I think, his 80th professional marathon. He's done ultra marathons. The guy's a super impressive guy.
Yeah.
And this is all he eats. Myself, I eat some of this and I eat some of this, kind of depending on what we have extra.
Right.
But you will see there's a little bit of a flavor difference, but we are able to produce the product for what the customers want.
Right.
So if you want a whole cow grass finished, we'll do one for you. If you
Right.
want just a couple cuts, we've got it.
Right.
If you like the benefits of a healthy, clean meat that was raised here, but you kind of want that consistent flavor and texture,
Yeah.
we also have that with the hybrid. We do pork as well. We do a Berkshire pig, which is some people call it the kind of the Wagyu of pork. It's a little bit more inclined to marbling.
Yeah.
So we can raise a pork that tastes really, really good. It's
Yeah.
really, really clean. We worm them with garlic and rosemary instead of chemicals.
Okay.
And we're able to produce a pork that people really, really enjoy. We have chicken as well, but the chicken we source. So we source from a farm in New York for whole chickens, and then Bell & Evans is kind of on the commercially available chicken,
Right.
the best, cleanest meat available. The chicken tastes fantastic. If I buy chicken at a mainstream store and
Yeah.
I compare it to a chicken I butcher in our yard, it's drastically different.
Yeah, yeah.
This chicken that we source I feel like it tastes and texture and looks like what I could actually butcher in the yard. So because of the kind of challenges of poultry, we don't do our own poultry.
Right.
But we do support a bunch of local people that do. So if you
Yeah.
want local chicken, there are some people with limited poultry licenses that raise maybe 50 at a time locally that we pass their info out to people all the time, just to help people get the product they want and help local people that are in ag, because we're all about helping anybody that's in ag, because we need more of it.
It's really pretty amazing. Oh man, I want to eat one of these. So with that, when a customer walks in here and they look at, say, like this beef chart, but you have pricing, they can pretty much see a variety of what you have on hand, but they can also order in bulk.
Correct. So what we have advantage-wise by opening this location, before when I was selling it, I sold whole and half cow shares from the farm.
Okay.
And legally, that's kind of the only way you can do it, because unless you're a state-inspected facility that they check for all the food handling, cleanliness type of things, I'm not allowed to resell an uncooked food product, right? But I could sell you half a cow, you could pay the butcher for half the processing fee, and that's kind of the way that traditionally most cow guys that are selling meat in the wholes and halves and quarters do it.
Right.
By opening this location, our biggest advantage was now, as a state inspected facility, they come in anytime they want, and they do, which we appreciate, because it
Right.
helps hold us to a standard to where I'm handling meat properly, because it is
Right.
an uncooked meat.
Absolutely.
I now can sell you 1 pound of ground beef, 1 ribeye, or a whole cow. We can
Right.
do the whole spectrum. So when you come in, we've got kind of our traditional price list that you would see maybe at any of the big stores,
Yeah.
where you can get your ribeyes, your fillets, your ribs, your ground beefs. We've got all of that, as well as our bulk stuff. So the bulk stuff has our whole, half, and quarter options,
Okay.
which we have a butcher's choice one. So if you're like, I don't really know what cuts we want, we kind of already have that figured out for you.
Yeah.
Hey, here's how we normally cut it for the store, because of what people like.
Right.
So kind of the most common cuts. And if you want that, generally our turnaround is really quick, like within a couple days to maybe a week or two, because I've already got cows at the butcher getting cut that way. Or the option 2, if you're going with the bulk beef, is you and I will fill a cut sheet out. You're saying, hey, I want my ribeyes kept as prime ribs. I want them cut as tomahawks. I
yeah.
want them bone-in ribeyes 1 inch thick, 2 inches thick,
Right.
boneless, however you want it. The butcher takes that sheet, I send it right in with the cow, and he will process that cow to exactly how you wanted it.
Oh, very
So any cuts you don't want can go to ground beef or sausage or cube
Right,
steak
right.
or stew meat, and then you get the exact thicknesses and packages you want. So we have found that a lot of people want kind of the standard
Yeah.
butcher's choice if they haven't done this before. It kind of makes it easier. You don't have to, well, I don't really know what to do with a hanger steak. Do I want a hanger steak?
Right.
Do I want a picanha, or do I want to leave it on the actual sirloin? A lot of those questions, if you're not used to cutting a whole cow or you're not a butcher, a lot of those cuts you don't know about. So we cut the most common way, and then if you're like, hey, I don't really want a brisket because I don't have a smoker,
Right.
we can then tweak that for you. The rest of our options include kind of the ones that want bulk. they want to save a little bit of money versus just buying individual by the pound.
Yeah.
So we have both some beef and bird, so you can get chicken and beef and pork, beef, pork, and chicken, or all beef, all pork, all chicken. And the more you buy, basically, you're either going to get some free product out of it, or like let's use one of these for an example, the beef and bird. If you're buying the $300 bundle, you will get $340 worth of those products, half and half.
Yeah.
So we try to save money where we can.
Right.
The margins aren't huge on beef especially.
Right.
So, but we work with people as much as we can on that. And then we have a list as well that shows our chicken and different options like that, which are, stuff we sort.
So if somebody wants to stock up their freezer, they can absolutely do that.
Yes,
here.
sir. And the beauty is they get to try the product before they have to commit to spending $5,000 on a whole cow.
Yeah.
And so you know what to expect.
Right. All righty. So I noticed you got a lot of other stuff in here.
Yeah, so let me show you around. So we have some produce coming. That should be in this week. Just trying to make things easier for people. We're going to have like carrots, potatoes, the things you might want for grilling out. We're going to add a little bit of that in. That'll be this week. This fridge here, we've got some kind of just drinks, quick grab things for those hot summer days, especially when we have the farmer's market outside. We do sell raw milk. It's only approved for pet consumption. We tell people do your own research on that, but that is something that our customers wanted. And so we've done it and checked with the state. It's marked, it's only for pets. We have a sourdough lady that comes in here and bakes a couple days a week. This stuff's really fun. It's called a par-baked sourdough loaf. So what par-baked is partially baked is what that stands for. So for example, let's say the hot dog buns. It comes in with cooking instructions on the back. We also have these with hamburger buns, which will change your life if you're a hamburger person. Right? But basically, this one, I'm preheating my oven to 350. I'm sticking it in for 20 minutes. So as I'm getting my grill fired up to cook my hamburgers or hot dogs, I'm throwing these in the oven, and I'm going to have a fresh out of the oven loaf of bread or bun or whatever sourdough
right?
made. It's incredible product. Tastes fantastic. And if you've never had a hamburger or hot dog on a fresh baked loaf, it's a total game changer on the actual experience. We have some tallow products here. Those are made from our beef fat. We have the employees here render the fat down. So for cooking, there's a lot of oils that have really negative health benefit or negative health effects. Seed oils, all that stuff. Which has come into the news a lot more lately, which I think is great because people just don't know a lot of times.
Right.
But beef fat and butter are kind of those clean oils. But when you're cooking steak, you want to cook it hot and fast, which butter burns.
Right.
The flash point on tallow is much higher. So I can grease my pan when I'm cooking something that I want that pan hot with beef tallow. I don't have it burn. It adds an amazing, really rich flavor. You can bake with it. If you ever bake like biscuits or something that you want that savory, rich flavor, replacing whatever butter or oil the recipe calls for with tallow is a really, really fun way to bake. And then we make, in the shop, we make like elderberry syrups and different things like that people they have a lot of health benefits and people like them. On this side of the store, we've got kind of our products. A lot of it is made by us. A lot of it is made by local vendors. This first section is our tallow. These are all our tallow skincare products. These are made, once again, with the tallow from our animals. We render it down. We use the suet fat specifically from this because it's got the most health benefits and it has no smell to it. So you can get the cream, put it on, and not have yourself smelling like cow.
Right.
And I'll let you smell one of them. I don't know. We'll just pick one out. You can tell me what you think of the smell. But so that is what I use if I'm out working.
Oh, very nice.
I'll put a little of that on. If I use, say, concrete, I'm setting some posts and I put concrete in. Traditionally, my hands will be dry for 2 or 3 days from just handling that concrete.
Yeah.
This product, I mean, a lot of people know about tallow lotions.
Right.
I can put that on and I can't tell I worked with concrete the next day.
That right?
And I'm not putting chemicals on it.
Right,
Same with the lip balms and stuff like that. We have sugar scrubs. And this product line we're growing as we grow, working on some even better packaging and stuff like that. We've got sourdough starters for the people that want to make their own sourdough.
Okay.
We've got kits to make your own elderberry syrup. A lot of things like that where we're trying to help enable people that want to eat a little cleaner, want to live a lifestyle that's like this, but maybe don't know how to do it.
Right.
So a lot of this stuff is to either do it for them or help them learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And we're always happy. If you want to come in and learn how to render tallow, I'll talk you through the process.
Yes, a little bit of education.
A little bit of
passing it
education,
on,
exactly.
You know, that, because it's all about community.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And we want to be healthy. I want my kids to eat healthy stuff and use lotions that are healthy, but I want you to as well. And you don't have to buy it from me. I'll show you how to make it. But a lot of times people will buy it because the product's really, really good. A lot of this other stuff is just kind of good kitchen stuff. A lot of sourdough supplies for the people that are getting into baking sourdough. We've got candles and soaps made from our tallow once again. Some different aprons and hand-sewn products or machine-sewn by local people.
Okay.
So that's a really fun way for us to support other businesses either in Brooksville or in Florida specifically. We try to target small businesses that are local to Florida. And there are some products we carry in here that aren't from that just because maybe we haven't been able to find somebody that makes it locally.
Yeah.
It's also been a great spot for people that are trying to get gifts.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
you know, the T-shirts, the hats, and things like that too, about your location.
Yeah. So it makes it really. This side is kind of almost catered to the wife. My wife and our friends. This is the stuff that they would buy if they were out.
Right.
I would go buy a steak. They would appreciate some of this stuff over here, to where we have a candle at home that's not full of toxins, and we have soaps that aren't full of chemicals. And
Yeah. Because it comes from everywhere.
Everywhere.
When you start really looking at it,
Yep.
it comes from everywhere.
Yes, sir.
So one of the other benefits signs that I saw out there was local market. So you do a farmer's market?
There. So the first Saturday of every month, from 9 to 1, we have a grass field next door to our building that we will have anywhere from 6 or 7 vendors, sometimes up to 20 or 30 vendors. We cater that once again to local.
Yes.
Handmade, healthier products. Now, there's always going to be a couple bakers out there
Right.
that I will argue it's not healthy, but it tastes good. We usually have a coffee cart out there, and that's just because that's what people want.
Right.
But then, if you're a local person and you make a product that is clean and healthy, we're all about it. We have candle vendors, tallow vendors, spice vendors, all sorts of things that local people are making, and we're giving them an outlet to sell it. Even if sometimes it directly competes with us, we really like supporting the local stuff. We've got, usually 4 times a year, there's a homeschool group that will do a kids market, and we encourage that to help kids start thinking entrepreneurial wise.
Yeah.
So that'll happen. Schools come out here. Last weekend we had one of the high school cheerleading teams did a bake sale out front.
Okay.
And they hit their goal and exceeded it on what they were trying to raise. And so it's just a good way for us to support the local community, support local vendors or product makers. Half of the products in the shop that are made by local people, we found them at our market. They came to make soap, and we said, hey, if we give you our tallow, can you make tallow for us here, or tallow soap for us out of our tallow? Knowing that our cows are that healthy, clean, we haven't put anything into it, versus if they just bought tallow online somewhere to make soap, we don't know what that cow had before. So half of our vendors in here started out there, and we just liked their product and said, hey, you want to do product for us in the store. So it's a good way to help our customers have access to stuff we don't stock, a good way for local businesses to grow and get exposure. And then it's a good way for us also to stock products in here that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All righty, Dave. Man, it's been really great coming in here.
Yes, sir.
And I do want to buy some beef.
Perfect.
To go. I've got a refrigerator in the car and stuff.
Perfect.
But if you wanted to say one more thing, what would that be?
So I would just say, in a nutshell, what Central Florida Beef is. So we are a local, small, family-owned farm that has a health focus. We got into it because I want to raise my kids. We are strong Christians. I'm not ashamed to tell anybody that walks in the door that Jesus loves them, right?
Right.
So I want to support local. I want to support Christians. I want to support good, honest, hardworking values.
Yeah.
And I want to raise my kids in that environment. And if that's not what you believe, that's fine. I'm going to love on you.
Right.
My motivation for it might be different than yours.
Right.
But it's a place where the community can come together. They can get a healthier product, get some high-end products, get some good, healthy beef, feel good about knowing where their product comes from, with people that just have like minds and similar conservative small-town values. So that's really, in a nutshell, what Central Florida beef is.
Yeah, and Brooksville is a small town.
It is.
You know?
Yes,
and,
sir.
I've loved it since I've been driving through this
great
area.
place.
And I was down this area last year. I come down every year for a hammock event and
Perfect.
found you guys last year. Wasn't able to talk, and that's why it was central for me this
Perfect.
year, because I knew you just had something that I wanted to know more
Perfect.
about, and I would love to have a lot of people come out and just
love
support
it.
you. Yeah.
Well, we greatly appreciate you coming out.
Yeah. So stick around. I'm going to go do a sticker drop at this location. So if you want to come down for a sticker and check out Central Florida beef, you know what to do. I'll be right with you. I got to buy some beef first.
There you go.
All righty.
It was a pleasure.
Same here.
Yes, sir.
That was great. So I got to go back in there and get my ribeye that I just bought, but I'm doing a sticker drop here. There's a one signed picture of Random Adventures 2.0, so you can see that there, and I put where it's dropped at, which is Central Florida beef, and it's got the date on it, but you can see more stickers in there. So if you're the first one to get here, come on down. You're going to get the picture unless you don't want a picture of me. You can just take a sticker. But I've got 10 stickers in here. One of them's a picture. What I'd like you to do is take out the picture if you're the first one, but post it on my Random Adventures 2.0 family Facebook page. But if you don't have a Facebook page, that's okay. You don't need to post it. But if the picture is gone, there's still going to be stickers in here, 9 other stickers, but I'm also leaving a batch of them in case someone gets down here and the bag's gone. Go on inside and check it out and see if they've got some more left. Alrighty, where am I going to put it? So we're going to put it in this watering trough, which is right out front. So I'm going to stick it down in here, kind of on edge. And if you're the last person to come and there's just one sticker left, take the bag, leave no trace. But if it's not there at all, go on inside, check out what they got here, and grab you a sticker. All right, we will see you on the next Random Adventure. Tony 2.0 out. Don't forget to eat your beef. All righty, see ya.